They're pretty much going to try to manipulate the conversation. They're going to try to get inside your mind, pretty much, and say, yeah, this is what we want you to think. This is not what we want to think. Democratic operatives, you need to tell your people not to talk about this. No one likes this. No. Don't bring that up. No. You are good. You don't need to talk about that. It's good. Yeah, but pretty much behind the scenes, the group attempted to sway candidates during the midterms, encouraging several of them to focus on shoring up the Affordable Care Act instead of supporting single-payer health care. The document showed the partnership representatives spoke to the staffs of Democratic Senators Bill Nelson of Florida and Joe Donnelly of Indiana and received confirmation that both senators would maintain their moderate position. When the team met with Representative-elect Lori Trahan of Massachusetts, she said she does not speak about the issue. She agreed that language around single payer should be tempered. None of three politicians officing required respond to that at all to the Intercept. To me, obviously, in no form or fashion. So yeah, Bill Nelson, Joe Donnelly, thank God they're losers. They did not win. They didn't advance. But this Representative-elect Lori Trahan of Massachusetts saying, incredibly, she didn't speak about the issue of healthcare. Or at least that's what I'm interpreting. And hopefully she speaks about healthcare, but it's not about Medicare for All. But if she doesn't speak about healthcare, it's amazing that she won. Wow. In several competitive races, the partnership pressed candidates to use industry-crafted talking points when speaking about healthcare. In one internal planning document circulated with healthcare lobbyists, partnership touted its influence over Danny O'Connor. So this is going to be embarrassing. The Columbus, Ohio Democrat ran for the 12th congressional district at special election against Tony Balderson, claiming that O'Connor used the partnership talking points in national news interviews. O'Connor's campaign did not respond to a request for comment. Several of the candidates who agreed to embrace the partnership messaging and policy ideas, including Donnelly and O'Connor, came up short on Election Day. Thank God. So Nelson received fewer votes than Republican challenger Rick Scott, and a recount ending November 18th confirmed that. But soon after Election Day results came in, the partnership went on offensive, informing reporters that candidates who embraced Medicare for All had also lost, pointing to the defeat of progressives such as Kerry Eastman in Nebraska. The group that relied on research from business-friendly Democratic think tank, Third Way, yeah, baby, Third Way. When there's a will, there's a third way, as they call it. They pretty much literally, there's some great pieces about them, and I highly encourage you to check them out, because some of their mainstream media profiles are like really pretty funny. Like when they go out and they're like, I just want to get a really good sense that Americans really agree with each other. They love each other. It's all a happy world out there. And then they actually got like to coal country, like, yeah, the Republicans are really, really bad. I just don't like them. But so are the Democrats. I hate them. But I just hate it. No, it's not good. I hate this. And they're like recalculating. Like it's pretty funny. But yeah, that's pretty much their entire point there. So Third Way, they argued that victorious pro-Medicare for All candidates couldn't attribute their success to efforts in supporting Medicare for All because few Democrats explicitly mentioned the policy in their campaign advertisements. Medicare for All didn't win, said Joel Copperwood, the vice president of government affairs at the Council of Insurance Agents and Brokers, one of the industry groups back in the partnership. I don't think that Bernie Sanders' $32 trillion solution that's going to eviscerate the insurance for 156 million Americans is something that's going to be helpful to the party in critical states. Like, what do you know? You're literally, again, you're literally a healthcare guy. You're not a political guy. You don't read any polls. You just worry about your healthcare. Leave me alone. Yeah, I shouldn't sing. I'm sorry. All right, so here, let's go to our next slides here. Our work, summer 2018 is the slide. Beltway narrative. Goal. Influence key thought leaders is the slide. They have a speakers bureau, amplify our message with like-minded allies. Thought leader engagement, regular updates in the intersection of healthcare and politics. Digital ads, create Beltway-specific digital ads targeted at the DC audience. Third-party engagement, collaborate with Beltway think tanks and other organizations. So here's who they're trying to do. Here's what they're trying to do. This is what they achieve. So the regional narrative, their goal in the regional sets of what's going on here. create unique local messages that are state-specific and serve as a resource for candidates by polling, research, and messaging. So yeah, create a resource for candidates to say, yeah, I hate Medicare for All. So in Arizona, they've talked to Representative Kristen Sinema. The field team briefed Sinema, and the district director, Michelle Davidson. Representative Sinema recently spoke out against Medicare for All. The field team is assisting with setting up 2 healthcare roundtables. In Arizona, 9th, Mayor Greg Stanton you talk to, and if you find out your representative is going to be on here, I would be very, very suspicious if I were you. Mayor Greg Stanton, field team briefed with Mayor Stanton's campaign manager. They're setting up additional meetings with advocates. This is their, again, summer 2018 work, so we don't know what could happen there. Joe Donnelly, we talked about. Bill Nelson, we talked about. Lori Tran talked about it. She agreed language around single payer should be tempered, but she does not speak about the issue. Ohio 12th, Danny O'Connor. And then we got Joe Manchin. He held a roundtable with 15 healthcare advocates and provided messaging to his staff. They provide messaging to his staff. He didn't provide any messaging. Who wants to do that? Finally, voter education. What they've done in urban media, they've had op-eds in the Columbus Dispatch, Sentinel, and Enterprise, and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. So they've been in a lot of places. For industry opponents of expanded government health insurance, there are 2 main challenges. One is combating growing public support for the idea, and the other is shaping elite opinion within the Beltway. Over the last 2 years, several opinion surveys show rising support for expanding Medicare, not let alone Medicare for All. The poll conducted by Reuters Ipsos found astounding 70% of Americans support Medicare for All, including a majority of self-identified Republicans, which is pretty incredible. In March, though, a Kaiser Health tracking poll found that 59% of Americans support the idea of expanding Medicare. And then, of course, in August, you get the poll by Reuters Ipsos. The partnership was quick to zero in on research that shows support for the idea drops precipitously when respondents are told the plan would require ending employer-based coverage, tax increases, and increased government control. But that's before. Obviously, there's a response. There's the easy plan. There's a quick and simple replacement strategy that actually is going to work. It's going to be efficient. And obviously, since the Democrats actually care about getting you health care, they're not just going to repeal without a plan, a firm plan to replace. The campaign has worked with advertising agencies to draw up a series of messages to convince select audiences. Several of the messages, categorized as positive, are dedicated to educating the public on more minimal reforms that do not include expanding Medicare. Other messages, categorized as persuasion and aggressive, are designed to instill fear about what could happen if Medicare for All passes. In the coming weeks, the partnership plans to ramp up a campaign designed to derail support for Medicare for All. The group, working with leading Democratic political consultants, will issue advertisements to target audiences, partner with the Beltway think tanks to release studies, to raise concerns about the plan, and work to shape public discourse through targeted advocacy in key congressional districts. So the partnership has tapped consulting firms with deep ties to the Democratic Party. Forbes Tate was Bill Clinton associated. Blue Engine Message and Media. This is a Barack Obama situation. So it's been they've tried to pass up all these messages, and the talking points emphasize the current system provides working class care and that. World-class care, and that any move from the Affordable Care Act will be ripping apart our current system. So pretty much their thing is, don't let Medicare for All pass, protect the Affordable Care Act. That's something that's been pretty popular over time, but wasn't really that popular before. I think it's worth reminding. They're going to try to save here, but pretty much all in all, these are people, and we're going to follow them. If I see anything come up on them anymore, I think it's going to be really important to actually get them on the show, because one of the things I think that's very critical to understanding them is they are very, very much a part of our national politics. They try to influence it. They try to decide what gets said every day. And the fact that they do that is very, very disturbing. The fact that they have all that influence is just so, disturbing. The fact that they could get and target these ads, they could pay off these Democratic officials, they could talk to them and just have them listen. Even more disturbingly, it's no. That's not a good idea. We don't like to see that at all, do we? Again, it's a somewhat positive situation, again, that we know about this. Thank God that the documents in that situation were seized, but still, you really don't like to see it. You really do not like to see it at all. And thank goodness we have knowledge about this and understanding about what they're going to do. So just be smart consumers, everyone. Be on the aware of if you're being targeted by these people's ads and see some. Just always be skeptical. It's an important message to take away from today because there are people out there who are trying to influence that. So, all right. Final story of the day. Donald Trump absolutely loves talking about how much he loves the Jews, folks. But according to a report on Tuesday from the Washington Post, he's actually too cowardly to go visit the people who continues to put in harm's way. Trump, who has yet to visit combat troops during his presidency, is instead spending Thanksgiving, a holiday other presidents have used to make such visits, at his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida, surrounded by rich friends and informal advisors. They're one and the same. One reason Trump reportedly hasn't pushed for a visit, because it's pretty scary being in a place where people are trying to kill you all the time, like war. Trump has spoken privately about his fears over risks to his own life, according to a former senior White House official. He's never been interested in going. He's afraid of those situations. He's afraid people want to kill him. You do know you are in you're in a war zone, again, and it is, wow. Just letting all the angles of hypocrisy, that just wash over me here. And it really is quite an incredible, situation. So, we got, again, they want military operation. Although he signed off on Defense Secretary Jim Mattis' request to bolster American military presence in Afghanistan and Syria, Trump reportedly isn't a fan of U.S. military operations there. He called it a total shame, according to the advisor. He said long flights and potential security reasons he could have avoided combat zone incidents. You do know you're the president. They're going to bring you a little bit of security, and there's going to be 100 troops, if you're however many troops, they're gonna be some of the best trained people in the world there to give you security. Not to mention the oodles of security you already have. The fact that excuse is so ridiculous. How about you go visit the troops on the border that you've stationed? That'd be really something. If he did that, wow. I'd be like, whoa, Trump is getting really brave there. But of course he never do that because he's afraid of those migrants. They're gonna kill him. It's. Again, just absolutely ridiculous stuff. We, ladies and gentlemen, are off until next Wednesday. That's pretty nice. We're going to be off for, I think, about a week. And we're going to finish our Red Alert, though, on Monday and Tuesday, so we'll get you something there. As SWRN programming returns to its normal scheduling, then we may try to squeeze in a Thanksgiving special. But other than that, have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. Try not to get into too much politics talk, and we will see you next week.